Hello, guys. My name is Jason, and welcome to my podcast for CSA. And today's episode is going to be on growing up Asian. This is season 2, episode 5, and may the guests introduce themselves. Anna, would you like to go first?
Sure. Okay. Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a first year general engineering major. Um, anything else? Like I should say?
We all grew up with Asian parents, so I mean, the experience is the same.
Yeah, like I'm Asian, so I grew up with an Asian parent. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sean, would you like to go? I mean, ladies first. So, Christy, why don't you go first?
Hello, everyone. I'm Christy. I'm a second year graphic communication major from the Bay Area. And yeah, Sean.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean. I'm a second year business major, concentrating in finance. I'm also from the Bay Area.
Perfect. Let's get started. So, on first topic for tonight, it's on just restaurant experience with Asian parents. Do you guys have any input in regards to that? Going to a restaurant with Asian parents, different restaurants, different responses. Or, I mean, if anything, I'll go first. So, with my parents, usually when they go to like Asian restaurant, you know how like there's like Cantonese restaurants where there's like dim sum and stuff. um, they usually are they're pretty open to Cantonese stuff and just mostly Asian restaurants. They're pretty open to like ramen and all that. But as soon as you hit like Western stuff like Applebee's, oh no, I get roasted, bruh. Every time, like when I order, I think I remember I ordered like a steak at Applebee's or something like a few years back, and he's like, my dad was like, "Did you really just spend $40 on a piece of meat, bruh?" Like, I was
Oh my
like,
God.
"Dang, bro, that is the ultimate Asian parents." Like, what, do you, like, what do you want me to do? Like, order something else? They don't have orange chicken here. What do you want me to get? You know?
Dude, yeah, I feel whenever I order something, I think when they roast me for not like choosing meals with nutritional value. So sometimes like I'm at a family restaurant and it's at like a Chinese place
Hmm.
and my parents will pass me the minute, they're like, "Oh, what do you want?" And I'm like, "Oh, I want noodles, I want rice." And they're like, "No, we're ordering vegetables." And I'm like, "Well, why did you let me choose? Like I wanted the noodles, but they don't let me get noodles." So I'm like, okay, I guess we can get the bok choy, but then I'm just like sad. But yeah, that's my experience.
For me, I usually they're completely fine with like Asian restaurants, but once you hit like the buffet, they
Oh,
go so hard.
oh
Like,
yes.
oh my God, you're not allowed to like have like anything carb related. Like chow mein, no. Rice, no. Just all the expensive stuff, and then you gotta like eat your fill. And like you don't eat like the amount that like is worth. You eat way more. So like what they would usually say is eat until you feel like you're gonna throw up, and then eat some more.
I feel you. It's like you gotta eat at least like 15% of your body mass. Uh, if not, you're not walking home. Like if not, you're not coming home with us tonight. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Gotta make your money's worth, you know? Even at like Korean barbecue, you know, if
Oh,
you go with like Asian, it's like you gotta eat. Like you can't just eat one round. Like you gotta keep going, you know?
facts.
I feel the thing with like not eating like the noodles or the rice. Like whenever we go somewhere, my mom's always like, you can't get like fried rice or like noodles. Like we eat that like all the time, just in different formats. Like you got to get something of substance because then you'll
Yeah.
just be eating like you can't just always go and eat the broccoli, beef, and fried rice. Like get something, get something like different.
Yes. And is it just me, or is that like when we go out to restaurants, my parents don't usually order drinks. They usually just get water, and they
Yeah.
specifically get hot water, not just any water, hot water.
Yes, every time I remember when I went to like Western restaurants, I would always want like lemonade or
Uh
like a
huh.
soda, and they're like, no, like that's so sugary, or like we can make that at home, you know? They're like, "Just get the water," and I'm like just sad because I see all the other kids like drinking soda and having like a nice glass of lemonade, and I'm just like, I can't get it.
With that red plastic cup, pain.
Mhm. Yeah. Painful.
I know.
Only thing is though, like we only get water, but the thing is like none of my family drinks the water. They drink like 3 sips, and I'm the only person who drinks the water.
Oh.
I'm the only person who like drinks water and then like gets mine's refilled to drink more. So it makes me mad when like we can only get water, but they don't even drink their water.
Oh
Drink
my
your water. Why not get something that you would actually drink or
That's
something?
facts.
God.
Yeah, I
When they
totally agree.
Oh, go ahead. What were you
I
saying?
was gonna say like yeah, I didn't understand why until like I got older, and I was just like drinks are like so much more expensive in restaurants compared to like any other place. So like yeah, we'll just go buy them after in bulk.
Oh yeah, Costco.
Oh, facts. It's all fun and games until you're the one paying the bills.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are there like some specific like Western restaurants that were like part of your childhood? Like for me, I don't know if they have this like outside of the Bay, but like Sweet Tomatoes or like Fresh Choice, like those kind of buffets were like really big for my family. Like we would go like all the time. But like were there like signature like Western buffet restaurants that your family went when you were younger?
Western restaurant wise, I cannot recall the last time I went to a Western restaurant like a buffet with my parents, unless it's like there's Asian food.
Facts.
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah,
dang.
yeah, if anyone watching from SoCal, hit up Hokkaido Buffet in Long Beach.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. There's a plug.
Plug.
This episode is sponsored by Hokkaido Buffet. But yeah, they don't really go out to like they don't really try new stuff as I would have liked. But in a sense, I mean, I kind of respect that because it's their hard earned money. They don't want to like spend it on something that they don't know or just not gonna appreciate. So I mean, it's all good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I remember like at Sweet Tomatoes, they have basically it's kind of like a salad buffet kind of place, and they have like coupons, like family coupons, and I think that's the only reason my parents like took us because they always have coupons, and like when you're younger than 12, it's like $6 for like all you can eat buffet like the whole night. And so they would always come and they'd always make sure like my mom would always pull the coupons out of her purse and like count them and then give them to the cashier. It was the childhood experience.
And is it just me or is that like when you're 14? You know how like some restaurants they have like 14 and under, they get like a
Oh
special
my
discount, and when you're
god.
15, and just like bro, just act
They're like,
younger.
no, like
Yeah, just say you're
yeah,
14.
yeah.
They're not gonna know.
Yeah.
That was like low key embarrassing because I'm like,
Facts.
mom, like I'm 14. They're not gonna know. They're gonna know that I'm older than 12, but like they're not gonna say anything. You kind of just do it. But what is it called? Yeah, I do remember doing that for a while, for a long
Facts.
time. And then like, but then like the only thing with that is like sometimes they have a kids menu and then you have order the kids menu and you're like, I don't want kids menu options.
Hey, the kids menu
Right.
hit different. I still get Happy Meal from time to time.
Oh yeah. Did you all have like you know how sometimes at like restaurants as a kid they give you like a little box of crayons like for free
Yeah.
Oh,
to like draw stuff?
Yes.
yes.
I still have
When's
like
the
a
last time
box
you guys have done that?
somewhere.
Like, lie about your age to get into like an age restricted buffet or something like that. Up to what age?
I think we stopped after 16.
16?
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I mean, by that
Imagine.
time, I mean, high school then, right? 16. I was just like, I mean, am I? No, that's like sophomore year. No, I look pretty
It's
old when
like
I was
sophomore
16.
going
I
into
think more
junior
like
year
15.
or junior. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like 15. That's when I stopped.
Hmm. For me, it was like junior year of high school until like everyone started questioning it and asking for my birthday.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
god.
I would also have to memorize my birthday or
Your fake
birthday
birthday?
before I go in because just in case,
Oh my gosh. This is the opposite of getting a fake.
Never got a fake birthday, so that I've never experienced that before.
Same.
But
But I
once
do
I like
understand the
was
struggle.
older, it was just like my siblings, since all my siblings are younger than me, then it was only for them to, say that they were younger.
hmm
Hmm.
And well, they're doing it for like our best interest, so I wouldn't blame them. you know. And
Yeah.
um, what is the biggest difference that you felt like when you just moved out, where your parents is not there? What is the first thing that you noticed? Like, God, this is different. Like when you're away from the eyes of the Asian parents, what is the first thing that you feel like, I like this? I haven't moved out yet, so I don't have much input.
Mm. I think a lot of the things that I eat are not things that I would be able to eat at home. As in like I just made like pesto pasta, and like sometimes when I like to season things, I like to season them a lot, and like sometimes when I'm making American food, like it's like there I just like add more oil and stuff because that's like good American food, it's just a little greasier.
Yeah.
But at home, like I would never like eat that. Like at home it's always like they season with there's like cooking oil obviously, and then there's like ginger, salt, and sugar. And that's like it for like veggies, at least like bok choy, they just like fry it with like salt and sugar and like ginger and stuff. And so they would never add like butter or like oil or anything like that, or even like desserts. They my mom tells me, she's like, you do half the sugar in the recipes, like you never go full. And so like when I moved out, I like indulged a little more and just like cooked a little unhealthier, just to experience the nice like greasy American food. But yeah, I think that's like a big difference for me.
I want to
Always
say
cutting sugar.
living situations very, very different. Um, Personally, I don't know. It's like you have a lot more freedom to kind of roam around, not having to tell your parents every single time where you're going, or like not having to worry about them waiting up for you when you're coming back really late. So that's like really nice. But at the same time, there's like a trade-off. You like my dad loves to cook food, so like he would try a lot of different things. I remember one time he brought home like Japanese A5 Wagyu and then like Alaskan king crab, and I just remember like coming home from school to like have dinner, like a nice dinner. But like coming here, it's like you have dining dollars, and it's just like, oh my god, it's pain. Like you eat the same food in rotation, and then there's no rice because
Man,
California cannot cook rice for life.
my boy Sean went from like A5 Wagyu and crabs to VG's dining dollars. Pain.
Not even VG's. I'll be real with you. VG's was not open when we were freshmen.
Oh,
Yeah, it was even worse.
Think
down
of like the knockoff of
astronomically.
VG's.
Knockoff beaches. Yeah.
What about you, Anna? Since you're like kind of fresh off, like also first years.
As a freshman, I also agree with the food. Well, I can't cook for myself because I don't live in like, well, they barely just opened up the kitchens now, but I still couldn't cook myself. And I did have VG, so I always go to VG because it's right there. So I guess like yeah, the food is like the one thing. Like my diet changed. I also don't eat as much as I would at home, if that makes sense. Because I feel like at home, like my parents are always like, "Oh, let's go eat," or like, "Let's go do," like over here, like I can't do that. And so mostly it's just like my diet has changed and the freedom has changed too. I don't want to say the freedom. I don't want to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally free now," because like I was reserved back when I lived with him, and I'm still reserved now. Like I don't go anywhere on the weekends, or I don't do any of that. I kind of just like stay in my room. I mean, this is considering that it's like, we're still like going through COVID and there's not much to do. But I think it's just a little bit of more freedom. Like I know I can, if I want to, I can go work outside. Whereas if at home, I just like stay in my room all the time and do like school in my room. But at here, I can like go wherever I want to go, or like get whatever I want to get, or like walk down to Starbucks in the middle of the day, like, or like at 5 o'clock and get a coffee and then stay up for like another 6 hours before I go to bed. So yeah, there's definitely like differences. Also, I can like sleep in. It's like sometimes it'll be like 10 o'clock when I'll be like, "Why aren't you up yet?" Like, cause I just don't be up. But now I can sleep in. So
I wish I can relate. You know, going back to what Sean said earlier about like, you need to like tell your parents what like when you're gonna be home. For me, I feel like I gotta fill out like a freaking like a whole report saying where I will be, who am I gonna meet, and by what time I will be where, and contact and phone numbers and stuff. It was a pain. Even till this day, like I can even go out by myself without like telling my parents, "Hey, yo, I'm heading out to buy this or that at this store at this time. I should be back by by a specific time."
Oh, wow.
Because, please go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, do you have a curfew? Like, is there a time your parents cap, like, you need to be home?
There wasn't until middle school, because I think it's like in 8th grade I partied a little too hard, and then
what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like in 7th grade, you didn't have a curfew, so you could just stay up. But then as soon as you're in 8th grade, it's like, oh, you gotta go
no,
home.
it's like
Please elaborate.
it's like after it's like in 8th grade, right? And then usually because before that I was like a pretty good kid. You know how like I tell them where I will be, what time I'll be home. But there's one time my phone died, and I was in my friend's house, you know, just partying, doing middle schooler things. And since my phone died, I can't just call him, you know. And my mom called me, my phone died, I can't pick it up. So I partied a little too hard. I stayed till like 1 a.m. And my mom straight up drove to the house, knocked on their doors, and be like, "Can you tell me where Jason is?" And I was just like, and she literally did like an FBI breach on, she did like an FBI raid on me. Like, FBI, open up, where's Jason? And I was like, oh my god, she's coming for me. And ever since then, my curfew sets at 11:30.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my phone died. I mean, there's nothing I can do, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But
And,
yeah,
like, borrow someone's phone. Be like, let me call my mom real quick.
but I don't want to
Yeah.
go home yet, you know.
You're just like, well, I'm sorry, mom, I couldn't call you. Like, how am
Yeah.
I?
It is what it is, you
Oh.
know.
It's not on me. My phone died. My phone died.
Dude, yeah, it's always scary when like you can tell that your parents are upset with you like over the phone or like through text, and you're just like driving home and you're like, oh no, it's not gonna end well.
Yeah.
Dude, my mom, she always like her voice is like a yell voice. Like where she talks, it sounds like she's yelling. And it's so like it causes a lot of like conflict between like her and my sister, or like because my sister will think my mom's yelling at her, but really my mom's just talking loud. And so then it just causes like a lot of conflict. And then like they always have to like ask me to come resolve it. But yeah, my mom has like a naturally loud voice, and the tone of her voice is always like very like direct and like accusing. So
Damn.
And have you guys ever like introduced your parents to your friend, and you have to like, you know, it's not like how you usually introduce your friends.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this is Jason. You know, be like, no, this is Jason. He goes to Cal Poly. You gotta give him like a whole background information, the last 4 digit of SSD. I mean SSN. It's be like, he's from this major. He
Okay,
works
like-
at this job. He's A+ student. His GPA. You gotta introduce him.
yeah, you have to like talk them up. You have to be like, yeah, this is my friend. I met them here and here, and they also, you know, like they're really good. Like, yeah, you have to like talk them up. I definitely talk about my friends when I introduce them to my parents.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you don't do it, they're gonna be like, That's sus, you know?
Mm, yeah. I think like when it was time for like college acceptances, I think like who my or like where my friends got into, I think like helped my parents like trust more that I'm like hanging out with a good group of people. Even though it was like kind of sad because like I got rejected from like a ton of UCs, but then a lot of my friends got like one of my friends got into Stanford and I was like, "Oh my gosh." But then I like told my parents and they're like, "Wow, like you have such smart friends." And I was like, "Yeah."
The pain. Yeah, that was totally relatable for me because I like my parents didn't trust me when I was younger. I was like a little troublemaker. Like I would get hit all the time to be disciplined, but I would just not listen. Like they would tell me like you have to be home by this time, and I would just always push their buttons to see how far they would go. I don't know why. I'm just like that. So when my friends got accepted to like colleges, they knew that I had like really smart friends, but I guess they thought that I was going to like a really bad school like in the future, so that's why they moved me to a different high school. Um, and so like I made friends there, and then um, they influenced how like I act in front of my parents because they are also Asian too. So they gave me some tips and tricks to kind of keep them from like yelling or getting mad.
They gave you tips.
Yes, they gave me a lot of tips. Like an example would be instead of saying um, like you're busy when they ask you to do chores, just say that you're studying for a test that is coming up soon
Oh.
or something of those sorts.
I still
So
use
it
that
did help
tactic till this day.
a lot.
The tried and true.
Tried and true.
Just always like, Jason, would you come down? Would you come down and just like vacuum the floor for me? I'm like, I'm studying right now though. I down to
Come
myself.
tomorrow.
Yeah, just get away with it.
Good. What were I don't know if this is moving on, but I'm kind of curious like were there things like that your parents like forced you to do like extracurricular wise? Because like when you mentioned like oh Jason can you come down like for me it was my mom saying like oh like you haven't practiced piano yet today like come down and start practicing and I can't say that I'm studying because technically like piano practice is also
It's
like
also studying.
work so I can't get out of it. I'm just like oh okay I have to go now.
Pain. Well, my parents they didn't really force me into doing anything, but sometimes I have to go to work with my dad on weekends. We have to be like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always the translator. I'm always the interpreter for my parents because like in every occasion I'm the interpreter. And when the Wi-Fi goes down, I gotta restart the router, and sometimes it doesn't work. I gotta call the guys. I'm always the dude on the phone. I don't know why. Every time they have to call someone, I'm on the phone. I'm the customer.
I
I'm the
mean,
customer
why?
service.
I mean, why you have to remember all your parents' info,
Yeah,
like passwords and stuff?
I know their
I know.
birthdays and all
So
that.
extra.
Oh my god.
I had to create like a special like doc just for my mom. Like, here you go, mom, because I know you can't remember them, and I'm gonna be leaving. So here are all your passwords. So when you
Oh.
need them,
You're like a secretary.
I yeah, secretary at home, secretary, secretary.
Put that on your resume.
Secretary for life.
I should have said that during elections. I should have been like, I'm already a secretary at home. Get this job.
That would have been
I'm
so funny.
Yeah.
That would have been so funny.
How good.
Extracurricular wise, I would say they tried to like get me to like do something. Like also with piano, they would force me to play piano, so I couldn't get out of that too. Um, but like they tried to like get me into sports as well. Like I learned like a lot of new hobbies because my dad would force me to like do something instead of like sleep in. So he would just wake me up at like 10 in the morning with like roller skates, and he's like skate. Like, and I'm like okay. But like nothing really stuck for me personally. So then they just kind of let go of that. Just as long as I'm active somewhere else.
Wait, so can you roller skate?
Hmm.
Okay, Sean. Okay, I see you.
Does that translate like roller skating? Like if you're good at roller skating, you can ice skate?
Yes, easily, very much so. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
So like rollerblading helped.
Oh, interesting.
Noted.
Noted.
Learned to roller skate like 2 weeks ago.
Ooh.
How was it?
It was scary. Like my legs were hurting so much because I kept on trying to hold them so I wouldn't fall,
Oh.
and like they were like shaking. Like I was like, I can't do this anymore, and so I got like a lot of like foot cramps. But
Dang.
I never fell. So that's the one positive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No battle scars yet.
Scars.
Very similar to what Christy and Sean said. My parents once tried to convince me to learn piano, and their way of like convincing me is like, "Oh, you have such pretty hands. You will look so good on a keyboard." I'm like, "No," and I was just like, "No, I can't," because I don't know, but like piano really like I know it's like it's super hard because the keyboard doesn't have any like symbols on it like like a keyboard would, you know. So I was just like, that is way too hard. That is way too many things to remember. That is not for me. So I did guitar instead.
Ooh. Wait, what type of guitar? Like acoustic or electric?
Electric.
Oh.
But I'm still trash at it though. Like after 2 years. That's that, you know.
Dang. I wanted to learn electric. I think that's so cool. I feel like in my household, like my parents were into classical instruments, so I never got to like dabble in other things.
Hmm.
For me, my mom never like required me to learn an instrument or do something, but that's because like I volunteered to play the cello, so she
Ah.
didn't have to. So I learned how to play the cello, and then I guess like after I learned how to play the cello, like because I wasn't like I moved schools, and so
Oh.
we're like when you move school, it's kind of like scared to join the orchestra again, like in the middle of the year, and so sometimes like if I didn't play for a year, my mom would be like, okay, well you should play, like you should continue because it's like something active and that you want to be participating in, and so there was always that, but she never had to like force me to play because I wanted to play.
I feel like having a kid that knows how to play an instrument is such a flex. Whenever like your relative comes around, your cousins comes around. All right, Jason, show him how it's done. You gotta go off. You gotta pop off on the spot. You know.
Yeah,
Does
I feel
anyone
like
go ahead?
oh,
Please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like when relatives come over and your parents like tell you to like, at least for me, it was like piano. So like for example, like I have relatives over, my parents are like, oh, you should play something, like play that piece. And my relatives are like, oh my gosh, yeah, play. I feel like when I'm playing, it's not for my relatives, it's for my mom because my mom is the one that's like, like you should play. Like when your parents like to do something to show other people, you're like doing it for your parents, not for the people who are because you don't want to get roasted like after if you mess up. The people who are roasting you are gonna be your parents. I'm like, to do well.
But like, did you misclick a key in the middle of that? What's going on?
Like exactly.
Yeah, that's why you join the orchestra, because then like if you mess up, like
No
they're
one's
not gonna
gonna know.
hear, because you're playing with like so many other people. So like nobody knows whether or not I like accidentally played a note forte instead of.
Piano.
Yeah.
I'm really
Also,
curious.
that makes me. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Finish your thoughts, please.
I was just gonna say what Chrissy was saying reminds me of like I feel like at every single like gathering, like at Christmas or something, the parents were always like comparing the children to each other. That always made me so uncomfortable. I was like, I know you're talking about me, and it's because like they always spoke in Hmong, or sorry, I'm part Hmong, and so they would always speak in Hmong, and I can only speak English, but I can kind of understand Hmong, and so whenever they would speak, I knew they were talking about me, and I knew they were comparing us, but I could never like be like, see, this is exactly what you said because I didn't actually understand what they were saying. I just like knew a basis of what they were saying.
Mhm. Can't call them out on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I could, what are they gonna do? I'm their kid.
Yeah, true. There we go. Shut up.
They're gonna be like, see, like this is why your cousin's better. Don't complain about this.
Yo, relatable. That's so relatable.
Yeah.
That hits a little too
You
close
guys-
to home.
Ever do that? Like, did your guys' like relatives ever do that with you and your cousins or something?
Do you want to go ahead, Jason?
Let's see. Me and my cousins were well, we are actually on pretty good terms. Not gonna lie, like, I grew up with two other cousins, and they all good at school. So, I mean, my parents were like, "Oh, you should just learn from them," but they never compared me to them. So there's always like, "Oh, you're just like your cousin. You're in college now. Congrats," you know. But it's never like, "Oh, you're not that good compared to your cousins and stuff." So I feel like, unfortunately, I mean, I'm not in that position where I'm being compared, but sometimes like subconsciously, I do compare myself against the others.
Mm. I'm assuming your cousins are like right around the same age with them, like 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was exactly how Anais was saying. I have a lot of cousins, like on my mom's side and my dad's side, and they all are right around the age like I am. So, like, some of them are like 24 now, some people are like 25, 26. So I get compared to them a lot, very frequently. Like, if they were to do like the smallest things, like let's say you open the door for someone, my mom would be like, why didn't you do this for the stranger? Like, aren't you like a good person? Like, your cousin's so much better than you. Or like, let's say like you sneeze and you didn't say bless, and then it's like little stuff like that. It's a lot of things.
Dang. That kind of sounds like, I know, intrusive. Because then you're like, not that you feel like you the need to compete against being a better person, and you're like people they're comparing you to.
Yes. It is, yeah.
Damn.
What is it called? I don't think they ever compared me for like reasons like that, but they would compare me like, oh, like that person is doing like so good in school. Look at them, they're playing like all these. They're playing like they got on the soccer team or whatever, or like they'd also like to talk about like how they interact with us at home. Like they're like, oh yeah, like this person, like my daughter never complains, or your daughter looks like she's so like she listens to you when you ask her to do the dishes. My daughter always complains when I ask her to do the dishes, or like stuff like that. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and then like it'd be funny though because then like whenever we'd go to like our relative's house and it was like time to clean up, I'd always be the one like helping out. And then I'd go home, my mom would be like, you didn't complain when they asked you to do the dishes, but you complain when I asked you to do the dishes. I was like, Mom, you told me to be polite. You told me to be polite, and like you told me that we were guests and we have to like, so of course I'm gonna do like their dishes without complaining. But just things like that.
Man, I got flashbacks. Like when I was little, like I would visit my aunt and uncle and I would like help them in their house because I'm a guest, you know, like I want to be a good guest. And my mom's like, wow, why don't you clean like this when we're home? You know, when we go home, you're gonna clean like that. I was like, oh no.
Facts.
Has
Yeah. Has anyone received the bowl cut treatment when you were a kid, or is that just me?
The what?
The bowl cut treatment.
No, I didn't.
No? Oh, that's... I mean,
I don't think I did.
yeah. Back then, I either went for a bowl cut or a buzz cut. You don't have a choice, you know?
Facts.
So growing up, elementary was pretty tough for me.
Oh.
Not a fun
Wow.
time.
That is relatable. I had a buzz cut for like the longest time until I was like, I want to say freshman year of high school.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Freshman year of high school, I respect that.
it was brutal. So brutal.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I didn't have like those type of haircuts, but my mom definitely did dictate like the type of hair that I can have, and like I can't dye it or I can't like cut it too short or anything, or just do anything like that. Like her word is definitely over mine. But the haircut that I used to get, it was always like long with like side swoop of bangs. That was like the haircut that I always got.
Oh
And my
no.
brothers always got like short with like a fade on the side, but like long at the top. In which that case they could always turn it into a mohawk if they wanted to, or just leave it flat. But
Dang.
it's kind of crazy now because all my siblings have long hair. Like my brothers, they have the same length of hair as I do now, and one of
Oh
them has longer hair
wow,
than me. Yeah,
Respect.
we all have long hair.
they rocking it.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Got the flow going. I like that.
Whoa.
Yes.
I remember when I was in middle school, I used to want like I think they were in middle school also because I remember like back then Taylor Swift was super big and that was when she had the bangs. And so I
Oh.
was in middle school, I used to want like the full like bangs over here. But then like but then I like didn't want to get them. So then like in seventh grade, like I had the ugliest bangs ever. Like I think Sean has seen a picture of this, but it was literally just like four strands like here. And it was like it was not pretty. Middle school was a dark time for me. And thank God, like freshman year it got better, but like I don't know. I feel like all everyone has had their like dark hairstyle times, you
Facts.
know?
oh, I used to be bald in kindergarten.
Oh really?
That's because I had lice, and we had to
Oh, I
shave
see.
my
Okay.
head.
Oh my God.
I just wore a bucket hat every day to school.
Dang. Wait, did it spread like in your class?
um, I got it from school. So
Whoa, what?
yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, but yeah, I had to shave my head. It's fun. It's cool.
Can remember it.
An experience, you know. You gotta start young. You gotta like find yourself at the age of like 7, you know.
Yeah.
Very young.
I mean, have you guys ever told your parents about like, oh yeah, Dad, I might dye my hair this week, and if so, like, what kind of responses have you gotten?
I
I
remember.
can only dye my hair the same color it is. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my mom likes to make jokes that I can't dye my hair. She's like, yeah, you can dye your hair the same color it already is, so that it would be redundant for me to dye my hair.
I
Since I'm not allowed.
see.
But Christy, I wanted to hear what you were gonna say. Have you ever dyed your hair? Got to dye your
Oh,
hair?
my parents weren't actually against like me dyeing my hair because I didn't want to do like I don't think they're as particular about hair, but they are particular about tattoos and piercings.
Oh yeah.
And so I remember the first time I got, so I have two piercings here, so I have like doubles. And I think the first piercing, like the regular one, it was fine with them. But then the second one, when I got it, they thought I was just gonna like go all the way and like get them everywhere. And so then I came home, I got like, they have like clip-ons or like cuffs for like the cartilage one. And like my friend wanted to try them out, so then we got one and then we like split it, like we split a set. And so I like came home with one and she thought I got my cartilage done. And she had told me before, she's like, I only want to see like max two piercings on your ear. So I came home with this, right? And she thought I got it. And I just remember the image of her like just sitting at the dining table when I came in and her eyes just like she like they like widened and she was like, "What did you do to your ear?" And I got scared. I was like, "Oh my God, she's gonna beat my ass." So then I was like, "Don't worry, it's a clipping." And she's like, "Okay." So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's definitely true. My parents would never let me get tattoos. Never.
Really.
Yeah. And in the beginning, like the first time I dyed my hair and did the perm, they didn't even know. So I was in China with my cousins, right? And I went to this barber shop. I walked in, I sat down. I was just expecting like a normal haircut, but then the barber was like, "Would you like a perm?" I looked to my cousin. I looked to my cousin. My cousin looked at me. He nodded. I nodded. We just went with it. So I walked in. I
Oh my
walked in like
god.
I walked in as a nerd freshman. Walked out as an ABB, bro. No cap.
Oh,
And I
please.
never looked back since. That's that, and they didn't even know until like after the fact.
Oh my gosh.
But to my surprise, they're not even mad. They'd be like, "Oh, got your hair done, nice."
Oh.
I was expecting like ass beep on probation, all that, but nah, I'm chilling.
Yeah, that's nice.
For me, my parents made it very clear of what I can get done and what I can't. I'm allowed to dye my hair, but nothing crazy. For tattoos, it's a no, but I think I convinced them like to be a yes as long as like I get a job. So as soon as I get a job, aka like no, like part time doesn't count apparently. That's what I found out. But that's like how I found my loophole, and they said that I can get a tattoo when I get a job. So then I got a part time job. Turns out that's not exactly what they were asking.
Oh,
Oh boy.
So yeah, I dyed my hair in college, like during the start of quarantine. Um, and then I tested out if I could get piercings. So I split a set like the same way that Chrissy did with like studs. And I wore them like for the entire week, but they did not notice at all, which was very surprising.
wait.
Wait a minute, y'all just test it out.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I
you
don't
don't ask to be like, I'm gonna test it.
No, I just like just kind of see how they react, Or like my friend Hallie drew like had a tattoo marker, so then she like drew like a tattoo on my arm, like probably like from my shoulder down, like a full sleeve. So I walked
Oh,
out with
shoot.
it, and I was like, I got a tattoo in college when I went to go visit them, and they were just like they didn't say anything, which was very surprising. I thought I was gonna get like beat so hard.
So does that mean you're gonna get piercings and a sleeve?
Um, no, I don't think so.
Petition for a VP to get a CSA logo on his arm.
Lotus? No, like, yeah, get the lotus.
Get the
Yeah,
lotus.
Get a little
Get the lotus on your back, please.
Yeah.
A lotus and a koi. Shoo!
Maybe Jordan will do that. I think Jordan might do that.
Oh, really?
The president?
Maybe the president, if he's in the chat.
Repping CSA, I like that.
Was he here?
Jordan, if you're in the chat, please let us know about your opinion.
It's a yes until you say no, Jordan.
Yeah, he's got.
So if you type no, you're good. Looks like he's not here. Looks like he's gonna get the tattoo.
It seems like a
Oh.
yes to me. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
What's it called? I never had my ears pierced except like right after I was born, and I haven't had my ears pierced since, so they're closed up. And I don't have the interest to get them pierced, so I don't think. And if I ever do want like earrings, I think I'll just get like there's some that you can just like clip on, that do your ears pierced. Weird thing is though, I never really wanted a tattoo. And thing is, like, my mom, like, she's not against it, but she never really wanted a tattoo either. And so I knew if I got, like, maybe, like, one tattoo, she'd be okay. But I think I want a sleeve now, and I think she will not
Accept
allow
that.
for that.
Yo.
Maybe I'll get the sleeve.
Just keep pushing. Yeah. Do it.
Do it.
Love that.
No, honestly.
I mean, please go ahead.
I
Kristen.
don't want it to be, like, dark. I don't want it to be, like, filled. I want it to be, like, very, like, open, but still go over my entire arm. But I don't know, because I never thought about getting a tattoo before. So it's like, it's not like I really want a sleeve. It's just like, oh, if I get a sleeve, okay. But the thing is, like, I feel like the only thing she would testify is like, well, how are you gonna get a job if you have a sleeve? She's gonna be like, if you get a sleeve, people are gonna judge you, and you're not gonna be able to get a job. She would allow it for like, like because I'd want it like for like my own reasons, but then she would just think about it and put it in perspective as how would society see my tattoo and how would it be a con or a benefit to me.
I mean, there's always like a stigma against it, against like tattoos specifically.
Yeah.
And you can.
But I don't want to look like a AVG though. If I get some a sleeve and I like,
Falsies. Get the falsies.
Yes.
yeah. Dude, I swear, as soon as someone puts on lashes, as soon as an Asian person puts on lashes, it's just like bam, all of a sudden.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Before last year you were 3, now you're 7 at least. 7 plus. But yeah, there's definitely like, have your parents like, for my ladies out here, have your parents ever like make fun of you for like putting on makeups and stuff? Or is that just
No.
me?
No, because I was very like anti makeup for a
Oh.
long time. So I just started using it like I think like last year or like 2 years ago. Um my mom's like she's actually I think she's been are you like eyeliner from the store? I'm like, oh yeah, thanks. But I think it's just because my mom wants me to be more feminine. So I think she's not against it.
Respect.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think like my parents will comment on it, but they won't. When I was little, when I started wearing it in middle school, they like commented on it, but they didn't really like stop me from doing it. I think like okay, in middle school, again, middle school's a dark time, but in
I
middle
know.
school, I had like the black nails, like you know, like dark phase. Anyway, I like did heavier makeup during that time, and so then my mom would be like, "Why are you like so like why do you look like why did you do your makeup like that?" And I was like, and I was also my rebel phase, so I just like kind of didn't listen to what they were saying. But that was middle school, and I think like high school now I just do more like natural makeup, and sometimes they can't even tell. They're like, "Oh, whatever." But they are not the type to like stop me from like doing something. I think they would like express their opinion, but I don't think they would like enforce it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I could I could I could heavily relate to that. So when I just started out doing my hair in middle school, you know how like when I put them up instead of like just letting them like float, letting the bangs come to the bottom. My dad always like, why don't you just like split it from the middle, do like a mid split? I'm like, that looks so 80s. I don't want to look like a boomer in middle school. What the heck?
Can I see that? Can I see an example? Can you,
You know, last
you
time
gotta pull it down.
Farquaad, Lord Farquaad.
Let's see this.
I'll do it for CSA. Now it looks like an anime character.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Oh my god.
Jotaro. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Oh man, but yeah, my dad used to call my hair like the airplane head, you know, the Feijito. So you know,
Yeah.
because it's always up. But yeah, he always telling me to do the mid split. I'm like, I don't want to look like a boomer in middle school. What the heck? You know?
Yeah. I remember that's kind of funny you mentioned that because like when I was little, when I was in elementary school, I had like I have like thick hair, but like now it's kind of like normal. But when I was little, my hair was like if I let it down, it was just like literally like a big like tornado. And so then my uncle would always come because my uncle used to visit us a lot on my mom's side, and so he'd always call me like Pumpkinhead because it looked like a big pumpkin. And then back then I didn't know how to tame it, so I would just be like walking around as you know Pumpkinhead, you know, and my hair was always up in a ponytail because it was just so crazy. But yeah, now it's like better. So like my relatives haven't roasted me for it, but it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, there's like so many different names, like you said, the pumpkin head, the airplane head. Did you even like the mushroom head for a while? When I rocked the
Yeah,
bowl cut,
I've had
I was the mushroom
Yeah.
head.
pain.
But like now, like back then, I really hated like when people call me like mushroom head. But now I look back on it, it was pretty fun. You know, it was all fun and games.
Yeah,
Facts.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was like the worst style that you guys ever tried? Like with your hair or like
With
just
my
any
hair? The worst style.
that you actually liked at the time, but now looking back, you thought it was pretty bad.
For a while, I just started like leaving them out and let them grow in the back, like exclusively just the back.
Oh, like the
Oh
mullet. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And I almost got like, well, when I was like 3 months old, or like at least 1 year old, my cousin used to have like, you do like little braids in the back but at the time it was really cute. But now I look back at it, I'm like, God, that looks so disgusting. Me with a braid. Oh God.
Did you have a rat
Like, am
tail?
I your Barbie toy or what? you know.
Okay.
But yeah, the braid. That is something I don't think I'll try anytime soon.
Oh my gosh.
But I'd still do like the meme though, like you know how like they do like the little stick.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
memes, but not for styles anymore.
Mhm.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, Sean, tell us.
You're the one
I've had
asking.
like a lot of really bad haircuts. Like a lot. There would be one point where I just wanted like a fringe, so then I would just flatten the front, and then or I would flatten it up to the top, and it would just look like just straight up. It could just be very, very tip. Like, and then people would just call me Goku because like I'm Asian, and then like it just all my hair would just stand up, and then like spikes. That was one. I had like a mohawk, and then I thought it would be cool to have like a reverse mohawk. Not looking back, I that looked really stupid. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna look up a reverse mohawk because I
Don't.
don't know what that is.
Reverse mohawk. Yeah, that. Let me look it up real quick. Reverse.
Oh my god. John,
Shoo!
why?
Do you have a picture?
I'll pay
deleted
$5
all.
for
I made
it.
sure that that was gone.
Oh man.
I made sure that was gone. Yeah.
Darn.
That's crazy. I want to see Sean with this cut now. I don't know why.
No.
Make it
You'll
happen.
never catch me alive. With
Make
that
it
cut.
happen.
Make it happen.
Catch you alive, so that means at your funeral you can like you go into the dogs.
Catch me for Clipper, you know. What about, let's see. What about talking to, just like, you know, hang out with people, just like talk to people? Like, does your parents ever make you like, ask you like, do you have a girlfriend? And just like start teasing you, and you gotta tell them like the specifics about like whoever you're talking to and stuff. They gotta do like background check.
Like relationship?
Yeah. They did a background check on me one time. Oh my god. They interviewed most of my friends. Does he have a girlfriend? Does he have a girlfriend? Like, oh my god, bro, leave me alone.
Oh my gosh. This didn't happen to me, but this happened to my sister. She was in SF and she was taking the BART. And this dude just like approached her and was like, he seemed like genuinely nice and he like asked her out and so then she went out with him. But then my parents, when they heard that, they were like, oh my gosh, like stranger danger, like this dude is like so sus, right? And I also thought it was kind of sus because he was just weird. But like I wouldn't like go to the lengths of like doing anything about it. I just tell my sister like, okay, like be careful, like, you know, stay in public, that kind of thing, just in the beginning until you get to know him. And she's like, yeah, yeah, I know. But my parents literally like they Googled his like they like stalked him on all platforms. My dad like Googled him and found like the report of him online, and then he paid money to see the family report. And so in the end, we found his address, his family's address, and then they also like cross-checked like the employment history with like his LinkedIn. And
Oh, he
I
follows
was like,
LinkedIn? Okay.
Dang.
oh my
Sure.
Yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of interesting. Well, they only did that because he was just like a total stranger that just like basically hit on her like out of nowhere. And so I understand like they were kind of worried and they're like searching out, but I don't know, they like paid money for a report. I was like, oh my gosh.
Now I know who to hire as a private investigator.
Facts. Drop the plugs. I was just about to ask, did they follow him on LinkedIn?
No, they didn't. They just found him. They were just like stalking from afar, you know.
Oh boy.
The info.
Yeah, it's relatable, Jason. I've had a lot. My parents have asked so many times, like multiple times, every time I come home from school, like in high school too. If I've had a girlfriend and they don't trust me, so then they have my friend's number, so then they occasionally text my friends to see if
Oh,
I actually have a girlfriend or not.
yeah. It's like, why'd you come home late today?
Yeah, why'd I come home late today?
Start
Or
texting your
stuff
friend.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, not a good
I
time.
make sure to like avoid.
Oh. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're looking out for our interests, so
Yeah.
that's the pros and cons that you have to deal with Asian parents, I believe. Like, they don't tell you that they're looking out for you, but they just do it. I feel like that's a subtle way to like show love, and I think that
It's actions, not words.
yeah, it is. Action
All
speaks louder than
actions.
words.
Really not words.
Yeah.
No words, just
There's no word, just pure action.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I love
always-
you? What? I
Yeah.
never heard you say that before. You don't know those words?
Yeah, I remember like whenever I got in an argument with my parents when I was little, there were like almost never instances where like usually it's just like I apologize and everything's fine. But like if they genuinely like made a mistake, they would never apologize. All they would do, they would knock on my door, they'd be like, "Do you want some apple?" Like,
Would you like some fruit?
I was
so rude.
Facts.
The bribery.
Fruit is like the just like the band-aid. Like it's just like, oh yeah, right, you took fruit.
Well, I mean, that
But,
that
like-
says a lot.
As a result, like let's say you happen to get kids of your own if you want kids, are you going to change that up? Or you think you're gonna like it's gonna be like similar?
It depends how
I
badly
feel
I
like-
messed up.
Yeah.
Because I feel like their parents probably treated them like that, and so they're probably thinking what we were thinking, like, why don't you ever apologize? But then like they end up doing the same things to us. I don't know, if, like, in the future it'll change.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like a little mistake on my side, I'll give him the fruit treatment. But if I did him really dirty, like if I did him really, really dirty, I might actually like just drop my ego and actually go apologize.
Mhm. Yeah.
You always got two plans. If you messed up a little bit, fruit treatment. If you messed up a lot, bro, please drop it. Drop your ego, go apologize.
I feel like the fruit treatment has different levels though. Like the worse it was, the better the fruit.
Ah.
The more like not unique the fruit is, but like the more like I don't know what it's called, but like if it's like they went out of their way to get it and it's not in season, when they got it and they cut it up for you, and you're like, oh okay, they're definitely they're sorry.
Yeah. There's like I remember at my house there used to be like there were like apples and then there's like Asian pears, right? So if it's an Asian pear, that's when you know it's like they're really trying to like make an effort because Asian pears are so good and they're kind of rare too because they're expensive, so my parents don't get them very often. But then apples is like it's just whatever, you just pick an apple. So
I feel like that's definitely gonna be me. Like I'm just gonna be cutting fruit because my mom already makes me cut fruit for my brother.
oh,
He's 14. He's 14. He can't cut his own fruit.
Dang.
But,
That's some
Yeah.
only child privileges right there.
yes. Oh my god.
Speaking
child
of that,
privileges.
actually, has any of your parents mistakenly like disciplined you, like instead of your siblings because they were the ones that like caused the problem?
Oh my gosh. When I was young, my parents would get so mad at me for like saying bad words. So like my sister's 10 years older than me. So like when I was in elementary school, she was already like in high school and like almost college. And at that point, like if she said stupid or if she said like shoot, like it was fine, right? But then back then I was like 5. So if I said stupid, they're like, "Oh my God, you said the S word, like how blah blah blah, like get your ass beat." But was literally saying it like right now, so then I would get so mad. But then they'd be like, "Don't talk about your sister. Like we're talking about you right now."
Yes. That's facts. Whenever like I cussed and they catch me like cussing, and I'm like, bro, my friends say all the time, it's like we're not talking about your friends. I'm your parent, not their parent.
Exactly. Yeah. So sad.
Pain. So legit, every time before I talk to him, I gotta put on the filter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Can't just let
Yes.
it out like that.
Yeah, censorship.
Oh shoot, yeah, I just realized like when I'm talking to my parents, there or my mom, there probably is a filter that I have on that I wouldn't have like at school or something.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, it's like the opposite. Like the older I got, the more likely I was to get away with things, and the less
Oh.
likely my brother was. So like I like relate to your older sister. So I would like use
Oh.
profanity in front of them, and they would be like, "Hey, that's not okay." But then if my brother uses it, he would get like beat so hard, and I would just like watch him doing so bad.
Oh my god.
He's like, "But he said it," and then yeah, my parents said the same thing. And we're talking about you, not him.
Yeah. I feel like Asian parents, their comebacks aren't that amazing, you know, but it's just like the pure authority that they have when they say it that just like you can't argue back.
Like that rebuttal doesn't make any sense, but since you're the one paying the bills, I lose. You're the
Okay.
one paying for my tuition, I'll take the L.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Do you guys speak like English to your parents, or do you guys speak in your native tongues
I speak English.
to your parents?
Yeah.
That's because my mom speaks English too. Like she speaks English to all of us. She used to speak a different language when we were younger, but now it's just English.
I see. You know, for me it's
Just-
Mandarin. So both of my parents they only speak Mandarin, a little bit of English. So I gotta talk to them every single day in Mandarin, and that's why I wanted to be like the cultural ambassador because you know I speak Mandarin on a daily basis. How can I miss, you know? But yeah, I feel like if anything were to happen to my kid, I'm gonna make him speak Mandarin, so he's gonna go through the same struggle as I did. It's like have fun in middle school ELD, my guy.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
He gotta go through the same shit I went through. Oh, my bad.
See, that's what I feel like. Like you just want your kids to go through the same thing that you went through, so the cycle just continues and
The
continues.
cycle repeats. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
For me, I speak English and a mix of English and Viet to my mom, and then my dad is just purely Viet, and then my grandma can barely speak English, so I speak Viet. It's like it's a mixture.
Yeah, I wish I spoke more Cantonese at home. Like I can speak Cantonese to my parents, but my parents are fluent in English. So since I'm better at English, I just end up speaking English. But then like actually I catch myself when I'm on campus and I call my parents. Like at least last year when I was surrounded by like other people, I would always speak in Cantonese. And I don't know why. It was just I just felt like I could just like speak and like tell them anything without being like overheard by anyone. But then like now I just like end up speaking in English because there's just no point for me to speak in Canto. But I wish I was better at Canto so I could like, you know, call myself bilingual.
Semilingual.
Sad, bilingual.
I mean, one of the good things about like, you know, parents speaking English is that you don't have to go through like you don't have to be the interpreter whenever doing the most minute little thing. You don't have to be the middle guy. I'm telling you, it's like so stressful being the middle. I gotta take notes of like what they said and just interpret it.
Yeah, that's true.
There's pros and cons, as always. You know?
Yeah, pros and cons.
I mean,
I really wish I could speak another language though, cause like my mom is Hmong, my dad's Chinese and Viet. I can't speak no other language besides English. I know more Spanish than I know like any other language. It's kind of sad. I'm just like, dang, like we speaking some Cantonese right now, some Mandarin. I could be speaking these things, but no, I just never learned.
that's why we have a cultural ambassador. Maddie, if you're watching this, please include. I'm just kidding. Oh
Oh my
man.
god, yeah, Maddie, you should like include classes, how to speak.
I'm down to
Just
teach
how
them.
to speak.
I'm down to teach them. But yeah,
I feel like it'd be hard to learn though. Cause wait, in like Chinese, is there like an alphabet?
there is alphabet. There's pinyin, so you use the same alphabet as English, but they have different pronunciations, and you combine different words together. Let I can type, but I can't write because there's too many things to remember. I can't. But when it comes to like typing, it's much easier because all you have to do is literally put the vowels together, the sounds. All you have to do is combine them together, and just select from like the top row of your keyboard. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because the word's right there. So it's not that bad to type, but writing, different story. I can barely write my name.
Yeah, writing is so hard in Chinese.
Facts.
Yep.
Well, I see it's 9:06. Does anyone have anything else that you wanna bring up or mention? Alrighty.
Not for me.
Wait, what were you saying, John?
Oh, just not for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Verbally.
Well, it sounds like it seems like a good point to end it. Thank you all for coming to the podcast, and I might see you guys next week. Bye now.